Welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 DLC update. Today we're going to be diving into the Golden Horde, which is going to be part of the Dynasties of the East expansion coming out for Age of Empires 4 on November the 4th. We're going to be going through information about the civilization as we have it and trying to make some assumptions about maybe how this civilization plays. So if you've got any thoughts of your own, make sure you drop them down in the comments. Let's dig into it. The Golden Horde is going to be a variant of the Mongols if you've played them, and maybe if you're new to Age of Empires 4, the Mongols, rather a nomadic civilization, can pack up, move their buildings around, can't build keeps, can't build walls, just things to know. So we're going to be thinking, how is Golden Horde going to differ? Now, the Golden Horde are available with the Dynasties of the East expansion, and it is a powerful faction that emerged from the Mongol Empire's fragmentation in 1259. With Batu Khan establishing the Golden Horde in the conquered lands of Eastern Europe, Golden Horde's yoke began to wane after suffering a defeat to the Rus at the Battle of Kulikovo in 1380. In Age of Empires 4, the Golden Horde lays the foundations of their Khanate with the Golden Tent at the core and spreads edicts to fortified outposts to maintain control of conquered lands. The Khan, flanked by a retinue of bodyguards, leads the Horde in the conquest of new frontiers. So that last paragraph really gave us a lot of information right there. We know we're going to have a Golden Horde, or rather a Golden Tent that is going to be a key part of spreading these edicts, so they say, to fortified outposts. Let's keep reading longer here. Playing the Golden Horde. Look at that. There's an Uvu, so we still have got the Uvu there on the stone, but a rather more permanent looking, what I assume is a town center. It is a civilization of conquest for going the nomadic routes. So I'm assuming you cannot move your buildings. It makes me wonder immediately, do you get walls? Do you get keeps? They solidify the control of conquered lands. The Great Golden Tent is a focal point of the new empire, dispatching edicts to fortified outposts on the frontier. So some nice defensive capabilities, which changes how the influence is projected. So what might those edicts look like? Maybe there are attack bonuses, defense bonuses, speed bonuses. This could be a lot of different things, right? When the Golden Horde Khan is called into battle, that's your unique kind of explorer unit. You will often find Turgid bodyguards nearby, protecting the Khan and inspiring the Horde to victory. Now, I've read a little bit about this already. These bodyguards are the first unit in Age of Empires 4 that are really like a tank unit. Or rather, these bodyguards will soak in damage for the Khan instead of the Khan taking damage, which is really interesting. The Golden Horde looks to expand rapidly by recruiting most units in groups of 2 or more at once. So we've got this kind of batch training. Now, we've seen that the Uvu in the past with the Mongols, where you could get double training with your stone, but it says 2 or more at once, which makes me wonder, is it going to be, maybe there's upgrades so that it becomes 2 to 4, or is it going to be true batch training? In AoE 3 you can train 5 or even 10 units at a time. Wonder what that batch training might look like. The unique stockyard helps provide abundant food for this growing force. I feel like this is the stockyard we're seeing here, allowing multiple villagers to work and drop resources at a single location. So this appears to be the farm for the civilization, is just the stockyard, which is little different from the pasture. But I wonder if you can task specifically 4 to them as it kind of looks in this picture. So what have we got there? We still got an Uvu, we got some batch training, we've got bodyguards for Khan, you've got the stockyard. Let's keep moving on. Okay, a lot of information here. The Golden Horde at a glance. So starting with your Khan up here is a unique heavy melee cavalry unit. The Khan's war cry inspires and strengthens nearby troops while the Khan is fighting. So a big difference from the Mongol Khan is kind of a light archer, almost like a Mangadai. This is going to be a heavy cav unit. It's got a spear. I'm assuming you have them from the outside of the game, and he tiers up as you age up. And he does have some boost to your troops, just like the Khan might typically. But you're going to see this guy in the front line. And a key difference to understand, when you've got a support unit that specializes in fighting on the front line, A little harder to keep that alive in battle. The Khan, you can usually guarantee is like hanging on the back, shooting, right? And maybe can activate these bonuses. If you charge in the battle and this guy gets hit with a spear right away, you might not get a chance to do some of this. So just one thing that's really interesting right out of the gate there with the Khan. Okay, and the Khan's bodyguard, the Tughlaq. Tughlaq is a special melee cav unit dispatched. Whoa, ad blocker, get out of here. Man, they're trying to get me to see. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so I can pay for the ad blocker premium. Is a special melee cav dispatched from the Golden Tent. When near the Khan, the Tughlaq deflects any damage from the Khan to themselves. So that's really cool. I'll be interested if there's a limit on how many of these bodyguards you have. Can you have 20, 30 of these around the Khan, making the Khan like super hard to kill? That'd be really cool. I don't really know, but sounds pretty sweet. And I haven't seen the Golden Tent yet. I don't think. I think that's just the stockyard. So I'm kind of curious what that looks like and how that works. The Crash, you can kind of hardly see them in this screenshot. The Crash is an inexpensive light melee unit that bolsters an army by providing protective bonuses to nearby units. So kind of a recurring theme of these bodyguards here with the Khan and support type units for your force, which really means you want to have a combination of these fighting together like when you go into battle. Now this is really cool. The Beachhead Ram. The Beachhead technology found in the Siege Workshop, it's an upgrade I guess you can get for regular rams, I assume. Gives the ram an ability to open side arrow slits and unleash a torrent of arrows from each unit in the hold. So this could make sieging really interesting. I'm curious what age this technology will be available, particularly like when you're doing a ram push early on in the game. Typically like villagers come up to kill the rams, but if your units inside are protected and can automatically fire back at them, could make it really, really strong for an early push. Maybe it's a tech that comes on later in the game. Not really sure, but a unique way to kind of give a new flavor of rams. I wish we could see some siege tower love, but we never get that. Going on to the Glorious Charge. The Glorious Charge technology found on Outposts unlocks a timed empire-wide ability. Okay, so I'm thinking too how kind of the Malians work with their Age 4 landmark, right? They have some abilities they can use. When activated, war drums inspire nearby troops, giving them a speed boost and reducing incoming damage as they charge into battle. A lot of things you're gonna have to activate with this Civ, right? Whether it's at your Khan or using the Glorious Charge, and that's found on your outposts. So you're gonna have those outposts, and that looks like, just zooming in on that a little bit. I wonder if that's what their outpost looks like. That is a unique looking building. That must be their outpost, but I say that and like this looks like it could be a TC. Maybe it's not, but maybe that's their unique outpost. I have a feeling that's their outpost. The Stockyard Edict. The Stockyard Edict technology found on the Golden Tent unlocks a new edict that when activated allows gold to be generated from stockyards that are being worked near fortified outposts. Okay, that confirms that is the outpost. That's going to be the outpost there. So interesting. You get bonus building by your outpost rather than by the town center. And I want to call it out. I absolutely hate passive gold in this game. Protected under TCs and outposts. It sounds like you're going to be able to do that. You can get an upgrade that's going to make stockyards generate gold. I assume this is later in the game, but who knows? It could be earlier on. Not really sure. I hope it's a later stage thing. And I'm going to just take an assumption that the Golden Tent is likely our Uvu. I bet you they've just renamed that to be the Golden Tent. I thought we'd see like a really noticeable building. Well, I take that back. That's definitely the Golden Tent right there. It's weird they didn't add the Golden Tent as a standalone card here. But is what it is. So yeah, building your stockyards next to outposts is really gonna be a thing. You can get some gold generation, so that's absolutely massive. Okay, the Golden Horde through the ages. Let's go back to age 1 here. So there it is, age 1. I feel like I should just started with this part. The Dark Age starts with the foundation of the new cognate and the construction of the Golden Tent, which can be upgraded to advance through the ages. Okay, so you age up at the Golden Tent. To support the new growing horde, stockyards can boost early food income by allowing villagers to gather meat and drop it off directly at the stockyard. So now here's what I'm interested about. Be upgraded to advance through the ages. Do you have one landmark? Is it similar to Abbasid where you've got 2 landmarks here? I wonder if that maybe is the case if you're truly aging up at that landmark. Age 2, the Golden Horde Khan and Torga bodyguards can take the field to lead the Horde. So there we go. Age 2, they're available. With each age, the Uvu network can be expanded to increase stone income and unlock new technology. Now looking in here closely, I'm only seeing like a few, like 1, 2, 3 or 4 bodyguards in here. Not that that's a limit or anything, but just something to call out as we're looking at this. Age 3. I'm definitely not seeing other landmarks, so it does seem like you build, you age up at that golden tent. In the castle age, with an established frontier of a fortified outposts, so you see them building around these outposts, which is really interesting. You can research new edicts such as the Karash Edict. This will produce an additional Karash when any unit is trained from a military building within influence. Interesting. So basically, when you build around this with your barracks or your archery range are stable, you're going to get an additional unit, it sounds like, with that tech here in the 3rd age. Kind of feels similar to some stuff that Sushi's Legacy has. And then finally, in the 4th age, with increased stone income, look at that golden tent, of an expanded Uvu network, stone technologies can be researched. Look at, he's got 2 Uvus, by the way. Gotta point that out. To increase the power of your armies. Reinforcement technology increases the number of units trained in a batch. Man, I called that or what? I hadn't read this part yet. So you can upgrades to increase your batches without increasing the cost. Expand the horde quickly. So that's really going to be huge for training in the late game. I feel like you can build really, it feels like maybe pretty compact with these guys. I guess you got to have this tent, of course. But with those outposts, building around that, going to really be maybe a little bit different from the sprawling you do with the Mongols. I kind of envision maybe playing a little more compact since there seems to be a lot of bonuses around your outposts and such. And that is everything we have about the Golden Horde so far. So sound off down in the comments. What do you guys think? Is this an interesting civ to you? What do you think I got right? What did I get wrong? What might be the possibilities for the civ? It sounds really interesting to me to have a different spin on the Mongols. I don't think there's a keep, just from reading through this. It seems like there is that outpost though. I am really intrigued about how these rams are going to work out, that arrow slit, how that's going to be available. And then, as I mentioned, you know, with this being more of a frontline unit, maybe those bodyguards really help keep them alive. But is it going to feel like your Golden Horde Khan is dying a lot if you're not explicitly microing it back? But we'll just have to wait till we get to see a little bit of this in action. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of the upcoming Age of Empires 4 Dynasties of the East DLC. I'll be doing one of these for each of the civilizations. So say hello down below. Hit me with a thumbs up. It all helps me out the channel. Let me know you're watching, and excited to make some YouTube videos here for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.